And as you can see, Magnus develops his knight, creating some pressure over the d5 pawn. And guys, this complete setup is known as the Queen's Gambit declined 3 knights variation, because as you can see there are 3 knights on the board. Okay, so now bishop to e7 by Arjun. He is preparing to castle his king to safety. And after that, bishop to f4. Carlsen eyes on the queen side, and guys, this is known as the Harwitz attack. And finally, Arjun decides to castle. Okay, so e3, opening the diagonal for this light square bishop, and now Arjun strikes in the center with c5. Okay, so now knight to h5 by Arjun, asking a serious question to that dark square bishop. And now queen to e2. Here Carlsen develops his queen, knight takes f4, e takes f4. And guys, yes, Carlsen gets this double pawn structure, but he also gets this open e file where he can, place his rook in future. Okay, so here Arjun plays b6, preparing for bishop to b7 to control that, to that massive long diagonal. And as you can see now in the next move, Arjun, both bishops are, will be deadly. Okay, so rook at a goes to d1. Here Carlsen attacks the queen, queen to e7, knight to e4. And Carlsen centralizes the knight. He is now attacking the bishop. So that's why bishop to b7, because as you can see, this bishop has not any good square left. So that's why instead Arjun decides to focus on developing his another bishop. Knight takes c5, queen takes c5. And now the question is, how can white continue this game? Here the first option is rook to d7, bringing the rook to the 7th rank as well as attacking the bishop. And guys, if you try to, let's suppose, defend this bishop with the rook at a goes to b8, that will be a huge mistake, because now comes knight to g5, attacking the attacking this weak squares. And I mean, just look at this bishop, knight, queen and the rook. I mean, they all are aligned perfectly, creating some serious threats to the black king. And let's suppose after rook to d7, if bishop to c8, if he tries to attack the rook, rook at d goes to d1, white can simply brings the rook back, and by this you can see this bishop gets into its original place. But in the game, after queen takes c5, knight to g5, maybe he wants to play rook to d7 with the same idea of creating the pressure on f7. But knight to d4. Here Arjun attacks the queen, so this queen has to move, and Carlsen brings it on d3. So knight to f5. Okay, rook at f goes to e1, queen to c6, threatening mate on g2. So to defend this, here Carlsen pushed f3, b5. And as you can see, Arjun is now attacking the bishop, and if white captured this pawn by bishop takes b5, that will be a huge mistake, because this allows Arjun to execute his attack. I mean, firstly, he will be going to give a check from b6 square, and after king to h1, rook at a goes to d8, attacking the queen. And you can see slowly the black is bringing his pieces into the attack. And after queen to b3, h6, attacking the knight, bringing white pieces into the back foot. Knight, and after knight to h3, knight to d4. And as you can see, now this knight is targeting the queen and the bishop. And in the next move, as you can see, after this queen moves, white has to lose his bishop. But in the game, after the move b5, okay, so let me go back. Here Carlsen decides to sacrifice his bishop with bishop takes e6. And guys, that's a blunder. But guys, before that, you have to understand what Carlsen is preparing. I mean, his idea is after Arjun takes on f6, which he does, his idea is to, knight takes e6, attacking the rook. And obviously, this rook can't leave this rank, this square, because as you can see, it's defending the bishop. And also, rook to f7 is not possible due to this threat, which as you can see. So that's why now the only move left is rook to f6. But if this happens, now comes knight to d8, attacking the queen as well as the bishop. And if queen to b6 check, king to f1, and attacking the bishop. And yeah guys, since this bishop is attacked, so what you will play as of black? I think you will go for bishop to a6, but guys, in reality that will be a huge blunder, because there is a mate in 4 which is coming, which you have to find. Take it as a puzzle and let me know the solution in the comments. I will pin the first correct comment and also mention that person in my next video. Okay guys, but if Carlsen had prepared all of this sequence, then why is this move bishop takes e6 is still a blunder? And guys, the reason is after knight takes e6. Okay, so let me go back. So after this move, Arjun isn't going to move his rook to f6. I mean, instead he is going to play queen to b6 check, which is the only best move which he played. And the idea is after king to f1, let's suppose if he goes for king to f1, now comes b4, and you can see what's coming next. So that's why after seeing this, after this check, Carlsen slides his king to h1, and then he goes for rook to f6, attacking the knight as well as creating some threats like swinging the rook to h6 and then knight to g3 check, which you all can see which is coming in the position. So that's why after seeing this, Carlsen brings his knight back to g5. And here now Arjun can consider queen to c6 so that he can create some pressure over this diagonal, but instead he goes for h6. He attacks the knight, but by this white also loses some of his advantage. Yes, I mean black also loses some of his advantage, because now white would consider the move, which is rook to e5, creating some pressure over the knight and this pawn. But Carlsen also missed that, and he gives a check from b3 square, which is an inaccuracy, because black can easily tackle this. I know knight to f7 check, which Carlsen gives, but simply king to h7, and now you can see there is no more further checks left. Okay, so knight to e5 by Carlsen, and no need to tell that what's coming next. So to tackle this, black can consider the move bishop to c6, eyeing the d7 square so that this knight can't enter. And if Carlsen decides to exchange the knight with knight takes e6, queen takes c6, and you can see black is still holding a solid advantage. But guys, in the game after knight to e5, here Arjun blunders with rook to d8, and he basically wants to play knight to d4. But the problem with that move is this also allows Carlsen to play knight to d7, attacking the queen and the rook. And to defend this, rook takes d7 is forced, which Arjun plays rook takes d7, and you can see now Arjun is a rook down and loses all of his advantage, which makes this position equal for both players. Okay, so now how Arjun continues this game, let's see. First of all, he goes for queen to f2. He infiltrates into the white's position, attacking the e1 rook and putting massive pressure. Here Carlsen can now consider the move rook to g1, defending this g2 square, because let's suppose if bishop to c6, as you can see, just rook to c7, and then a5, and you can see this game can be continued like this. But after queen to f2, here Carlsen makes a mistake with queen to d1. He drops his queen back from this amazing position, and Arjun takes advantage of this with the beautiful move rook to g6, threatening mate on g2. So to prevent this, rook to g1 must be considered, but he plunders by rook to e2. And guys, just pause the video and try to guess the next move played by Arjun. In this position, he sacrificed his queen with queen takes f3. And guys, in this position, Magnus Carlsen resigned. This is because obviously, g takes f3 is not possible due to bishop takes f3 check, rook to g2, bishop takes g2 check, king to g1, and finally bishop to f3, a discover check by the rook. And in the next move, white has to lose his queen. So, and let's suppose after queen takes f3, what if Carlsen goes for rook to d2, defending this g2 square? But guys, this is also now black is going to bring his knight on e3, creating more pressure over the g2 pawn. And if queen to g1, knight takes g2, creating a discover check, so that's why rook takes g2, and finally queen takes f4. And guys, just take a look at this position carefully. As you can see, this pawn on b7 pins the rook, as well as in the next move, queen takes d2 is coming. What a game, guys. What a game by Arjun Erigaisi. Just imagine defeating the world best chess player of all time, Magnus Carlsen, like this. It's just crazy. Like this video and I will see you in the next one. This is your host Bison signing off. Bye-bye.